Alright, so today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be checking out the beautiful tragedy of a legend, Zyzz. I don't know exactly how to pronounce the name, but Zyzz is probably correct. Now, this name has been brought up quite a lot in my time with hardstyle. And if you're unfamiliar with the name Zyzz, then you're pretty much in the position that I'm at. I don't really know what he did or like what part he had to play within the hardstyle community, but to this day I'm just seeing the name everywhere. You know, when it comes to like motivation, especially gym motivation, and combining that with hardstyle, you know, Zyzz is the guy. So shout out to Sunny V2 for this, I guess it's like a little documentary just going into the life of Zyzz. So this is a very different video, but I want to understand who this man was.
Prior to his untimely death at the age of only 22, Zyzz had become an
22?
icon. Everything about him represented the never-ending struggle between success and hardship. His physique, confidence, and status seemed effortless from the outside. However, on the inside, Zyzz was constantly at war with himself. He battled with deep insecurities, a feeling of apathy, and an undesirable position of fame to the point where he wouldn't even leave his own house. Yet, as a result of making his struggle public and relatable to an online audience, Zyzz would become one of the most well-regarded fitness influencers of all time, ending his physical transformation looking like this, and this. Although in the beginning, at a time when his main hobby was playing World of Warcraft, he looked a little more like this, and this. Zyzz explained that I was ridiculously thin. I'm talking the skinniest guy in my grade school. People always commented on how skinny I was and I hated it. I was always known as the skinny kid. I remember feeling like a little bitch when I was out with girls, walking next to them and feeling the same size as them. On the contrary, his older brother Saeed had begun to gain some size after going to the gym regularly, with Zyzz also adding that, I started going clubbing every weekend and always noticed whenever a jack dude walked by. They had a presence a lot greater than that of a normal person. The guys respect them and the girls are all over them. And really, who wouldn't want that?
That's just the way it is, you know? That is just the way it is. And I can relate to this heavily because I have always been skinny to the point where people did point it out in school. Actually, there was this one time in particular, I was year 10, alright? I was in history, and this girl that I actually very much fancied, like, yeah, it was pretty public knowledge as well, because I got caught out a few times staring at her boobs. Anyways, back to the story. So yeah, I was sitting beside her in year 10 for that year, and I remember once she like, I don't know, she was getting like close to me. She was touching my leg and all, but then I don't even know why, but she was just one of those people that were very comfortable. But then she ended up going to my arm, and like she wrapped her hand around somewhere on my arm. And at the time, like I'm still skinny now, but at the time she could wrap her hand like right the way around pretty easily, because I was just like a fucking twig. And then she like, you know, pointed that out really loudly in front of everyone. She was like, "You're so skinny, what the?" And I was like, okay, this is instantly bright red. And yeah, my any little bit of confidence I ever had was stripped away.
Was the creation of his first YouTube channel on the 28th of July 2006, titled
he's an OG.
Zyzz7, where he began to document everything in his life from fights at McDonald's to his opinions on music.
Yo, he was ahead of his time, like making these sort of videos 13 years ago. And here we go, why hardcore / gabber is better than hardstyle. Like, that's crazy. 13 years ago he was making videos that like I would be making in this day and age. When it comes to like YouTubers as well, 13 years ago they were not really a thing.
However, when looking at a post made by Zyzz to the bodybuilding.com forums, it's obvious that he planned on continuing the grind, stating that this is what he wanted his body to look like in only 1 year's time.
The sky's the limit.
Well, this kind of transformation after only 12 months seemed almost impossible. A photo posted 1.5 years later showed that Zyzz had made his goal a reality, yet unfortunately he would also add that it hadn't been achieved naturally. A forum post by Zyzz explained that he had begun his first trend / sus cycle in April of 2008, only 1 month after his 19th birthday. And while this might have been somewhat disappointing for those following his fitness journey, there was no denying that Zyzz looked absolutely incredible. Standing at 6'2" with some fresh new tats and an absolutely yoked physique, Zyzz represented something like the ideal masculine image.
You know what, when it comes to steroids and all that, I know nothing about it. And I think they're kind of scary, you know, because they do have bad side effects. I don't really know what the side effects are, to be honest, but I've heard some bad things. You know, people dying because they go ham with the steroids, and yeah.
All the skinny dudes out there who wanted to get bigger and get attention or get girls or get noticed or get respect.
And did he get all those things?
Yeah, he did.
However, this wasn't even the primary reason behind why people began to love him. It was that he had this image, yet he tried not to take life too seriously, breaking the overly serious gym bro stereotype.
The Zyzz persona was just an act for social media. Zyzz created Zyzz to be his perfect representation of who he wanted to be and who he played up to be for his perceived stereotype based on his appearance.
He would state in an interview, "Personally, I'm a very friendly and happy person and believe that people need to lighten up and enjoy life more. Even though I put on a lot of size and to some look intimidating, I'm one of the friendliest people you can meet. I love playing up my perceived stereotype and at the end of the day never take myself seriously, which is one of the reasons that I've accrued the fan base that I have." Now sure, it's obvious that Aziz Shaversian, the real Zyzz, built his physique in real life for serious reasons. However, online, Zyzz was more of a character that represented the classic fitness douchebag. He even clarified in one of his video's descriptions that Zyzz is not a person, Zyzz is merely a personification of a way of life. With this being the goal, he began to build a reputation for being somewhat of an online troll.
Political views, whichever politician is most aesthetic. Barack Obama's pretty aesthetic for a politician, so he deserves to run the country.
That's so weird. Like, trolls were not really a thing back in these days, but he seemed to be like just so far ahead of his time. It's unreal.
The belief that transcendence of life into heaven is achieved at 6% body fat. A complete euphoria and sense of accomplishment overcomes the shredder, entering almost surpassing the majestic boundaries of human emotion. What quality do you value most in your friends? Body fat percentage. In the process of playing this character, Zyzz would deepen his legacy by seemingly inventing or at least popularizing a whole new gym bro language. Phrases such as you mad, you myron, fwark, bra, and come at me bro seem to make up more than
I've seen this one a lot in relation to hard style and whatever. GPF I think used this as well. Fwark. Slendy, the Slendy show.
That's a lot to take in for a 19-year-old, that amount of fame to hit you that hard. Because of that pressure, you started using more drugs, more steroids.
I started saying no to photos and people just thought I was a dickhead. I'm not joking how many photos I get asked for. At a festival, it's up to 400 to 500 sometimes. First few months was like, whoa, this is awesome. Other times you can't be effed, and I feel sorry for my mates who have to put up with it now when they're out with me. I would have never expected it to get like how it has. In addition to being asked for hundreds of photos per festival, Zyzz would make a post to the bodybuilding.com forums explaining that every time he'd go shopping, people would yell at him, come at me bro, or you myron, and that he'd rather the video that had made him so famous never have been posted in the first place. More negative press would cultivate after his brother Chessbra was arrested for possessing anabolic steroids in mid-2011, with news articles on the topic featuring Zyzz's photos, simply because he was the more famous brother, which became even worse after a video would surface of Chessbra stating that Zyzz was actually the one who introduced him to steroids.
Surprisingly, it was Az. He was the one that introduced it to me, even though everyone thinks it's the opposite way around because I'm the older brother. He was the one who introduced me to it. Every week he'll jump on the scale and he'll be like, look, I'm a kilo heavier this week. Next week he'll be 2 kilos heavier. The week after he'll be 3 kilos heavier. And he'll look at me and Babber and he'll just laugh at us. And I was thinking, what the going on? Like, this guy's putting a kilo on every week and getting leaner and fuller. And he's eating like a horse. Like, something doesn't add up.
The immense pressure put on Zyzz not only cultivated a refusal to leave the house unless he had friends around him.
He used to be scared just to go out in public, bro, that he needed to bring 2 or 3 of his mates everywhere he went just because of the anxiety and the paranoia that he used to get from going out. There was a lot of things that Zyzz was feeling on the inside of his mind as well that a lot of us can really never tap into unless we knew him personally, you know what I mean?
But he'd also adopt the attitude in a Facebook post that he no longer wanted to be Zyzz at all. I'm sad to announce that I have officially finished with training, festivals, and being Zyzz. I want to move my life in other directions, and have found myself far too involved in a lifestyle with no genuine substance, meeting far too many fake people / girls who, if I didn't look the way I did, would have never given me the time of day. Time to get back to studying. There's more to life than partying.
You know what? That was a good move, I think. If like his mental health would have been just getting worse and worse as the days go by.
4 months after making this post in August of 2011, Zyzz would board a flight to Thailand for what seemed to be a much needed vacation. Given the timing, it was likely that Zyzz was simply trying to get away from the chaos back in Sydney, although what was waiting for him in Thailand would prove to be much worse. Scarily enough, Zyzz had actually predicted his own death on multiple different occasions. When asked, where do you see yourself in 20 years, Zyzz responded with one frightening word: dead. And while this response was probably somewhat of a joke, on the 5th of August 2011, while sitting in a sauna in Pattaya, Zyzz would suffer a heart attack from which he would never recover.
Oh!
A well-known Sydney bodybuilder has died after collapsing in a sauna in Thailand. Doctors say the 23-year-old had an undiagnosed heart condition, but some say a growing obsession with body image is dangerous.
So it was a heart attack then? Was he 23 or 22? I've heard two different ages there, but that is very unexpected for someone of that age. Although, maybe from what he was consuming, the steroids or the substances or whatever, maybe that played a part. I don't know. Is that Tupac?
It was discovered that Zyzz had an undiagnosed heart condition which could have killed him at any time, although of course many have speculated that his use of PEDs helped in causing his death sooner rather than later. More concerned with how his brother was going to be remembered, Chesbro would upload a 19-minute long tribute video titled Zyzz the Legacy, which to this day has gained over 16 million views, with the comments perfectly summing up the positive impact that Zyzz made during his time on Earth.
I might give that video a watch at some point soon as well. I think that'll be good. So in this video, hardstyle wasn't brought up too much, but I know now that Zyzz actually made videos about hardstyle back in the day, back in like 2006, which is just crazy. I might actually see if his videos are still up there as well, and check them out, because I can't get over that video. Is hardcore / gabber better than hardstyle? Because that literally is something that I would do like next week or tomorrow, you know? Well, would I think hardcore is better than hardstyle? I'm not too sure. Not too sure. It's an interesting subject though to talk about. But anyways, that's going to do it for now. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one. Drop a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.